Hi, and welcome to Living Your Best Year Summit, where we search the globe to find some of the best experts around the world. And these experts are masters in six different areas. First being psychic, medium, and intuition. We have spirituality, relationships, health and fitness, passion, purpose, and profit, along with happiness and well being. And all of this is to help you find your gifts and begin living your best life, based on your soul's purpose. My name is Naomi Horne, and I'm your host. I just want to give you just a brief description of how this summit all came about. Based on my own experience and my own life struggles and how I wanted to, better myself and, come up with my own goals and dreams. I wanted to also do the same for you. So my goal was to just reignite that light within you and for you to now go after what your dreams are and to truly know that they are attainable and you can accomplish anything that we set our mind to. I'm honored that I've been able to interview some amazing experts, and they're so willing to share their private stories, proven strategies, and also just to help you grow and heal and succeed in 2015. This is a free event. And if you find that you have something moves you, or you have further questions, or you learn something through this session, please don't hesitate to comment or post something on my fan page at facebook.com/Naomi the Educator. So today's professional, her expertise is being a psychic medium. I'm very excited to have Susanne Wilson on today. She has provided a link for a free gift, so please don't hesitate to click that link and learn more about Susanne's guide to healing your energy. Susanne is a psychic, clairvoyant, author, teacher, and intuition development expert based in Carefree, Arizona. Wouldn't we all love to live in a city called Carefree? She provides readings and intuition development lessons by phone and in person. Her clients include celebrities and diverse people from around the globe. Susanne Wilson has a bachelor's degree in management with a concentration in human resources. She has a master's in public administration and a certification as a senior professional human resources. She has been a manager of a compensation and benefits in a company, a vice president of a company, founder and administrative director of the Center for Leadership and Innovation at a Florida university, and a manager at Stanford University Medical Center. She is a member of the International Association of Reiki Professionals and is a Usui, is that right? Reiki
That's
master
right.
teacher. In 2007, Susanne had an allergic reaction known as anaphylaxis. She found herself surrounded by white light and heard beautiful spirit music that washed waves of peace through her. While in this state, she felt the arms of her grandmother enfolding her. She heard a voice say that she had to go back and start her work. Her near death experience changed her life. As she wrote, I found my calling. To learn more about Susanne, go to www.carefreemedium.com. We're so delighted to have her. How are you doing, Susanna?
Fantastic. Thank you for having me, Naomi.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I'm so blessed to and honored to be able to get to know you more and for our listeners as well. I would say please take out a sheet of paper, and pen because something may move you, something may come that you're able to apply to your life and I want you to be able to take action. So it's good to, be able to take notes and if anything moves you, please write it down and as we get to know Suzanne a little bit more. So let's go ahead and get started. So, based on just reading a little bit about you and you saying what was your awakening for you to pretty much kick you into to starting this business that you have now. So I just want to know a little bit more about like your story of having that near death experience and how it guided you to really take charge and become a psychic medium.
Well, I often say, as John Lennon said, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. The universe does have a way of getting your attention Now, this is no surprise, Naomi, that I had psychic mediumship abilities, because as a child, I knew I was very different from other children as soon as I went to school, because I could see colors and spirit lights around people, and I quickly learned that not other kids all could do that.
Uh-huh.
But during my growing up years, I yearned to fit in. I just wanted to be normal. And I was a very sensitive child all throughout school. I had to learn how to wear a tougher exterior because I'm an empath, meaning that I'm very sensitive and I can feel other people's emotions,
Mm.
sometimes even their physical ailments. And I was very lucky that I had a grandfather that I believe was a closeted medium himself. He was a Presbyterian minister, and he didn't really talk about his mediumship abilities to too many
Mm-hmm.
people. But with me, he let me know that it was normal, that it was okay, but it's better to hide it.
Okay.
So here I am going through my 20s, going to school. You mentioned the degrees and the jobs and all of that. Life on autopilot is what I call it.
Wow.
I'm a late bloomer. I don't know about you. I think there's a lot of late
Yes.
bloomers out there that don't really figure out who they are until later in life. So here's what happened in 2007. I'm at the allergy specialist's office, and you know how they punch your skin and give you these little tests to see what you're
Mm-hmm.
allergic to, right? So during the testing, I was telling the technician that I was feeling very nauseated and dizzy. And she said, okay, well, you know, we're in Florida, right? So she said, oh, it's just the humidity. I'll turn up the air conditioning. And I'm like, no, no. I'm like, I'm really, really sick. My throat feels tight. And so she left to go get help. And in those few seconds, my throat was honking like a goose.
Wow.
And I could just feel it close up, and I felt my breathing stop. And then doctors came in, and all these technicians came in, and they were holding me up by my arms.
Mm.
And as they did that, I felt the very last breath, and I felt myself pull backwards and up out of
Mm.
my body. And there I am floating, looking at the back of my head, looking
Wow.
at this sort of like slow motion scene of medical professionals preparing some kind of injection, which I later found out was epinephrine. So while they're getting ready to inject me to get me back, I'm having all this great spiritual experience. I mean, I'm hearing music like I've never heard before, like millions of voices singing like instruments, and it just kept going up, up, up in this crescendo. I had the arms of my grandfather around me, and frankly, I don't know that I would have come back if they hadn't jabbed a
Wow.
epinephrine needle into my arm.
Wow. Wow. It was if it did it had this just overwhelming peace feeling.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
so
there's no pain. There's nothing but joy. Nothing but just imagine every cell and every atom of your DNA filled with joy and
wow.
love and peace.
Yeah, I've heard my husband has had a near death experience, and when you talked about that peace, he mentioned the same thing. It was just so peaceful. He didn't want to come back, but there was this voice that said it wasn't, it wasn't your time. You have to go back. But he said the feeling was just so beautiful that he wanted to stay because it just felt so good and stuff. So yeah, I've definitely heard other people say that. So now you awaken, you're up, and because I've always wondered, being a medium, once you're up and now you've heard the call, are there spirits around you that you can see? How they are? Were they always around when you were ignoring, that you can see and you just ignored? But once you woke up, what happened then? Was it like,
Well,
okay?
I had been doing a really good job of tuning things out, although in my spare time, I was studying psychic development, going to seminars, working with teachers and with small development groups of friends. But I was frankly ashamed that I did that, and I hid it from most people, and I
Okay.
certainly hid it at work because I wanted to be taken seriously.
Mhm.
So I could tune in when I wanted to, tune out when I wanted to, and I never ever considered devoting my life to this work. But after this feeling, this joy, this love, this peace, I came back like this big marshmallow. I mean,
Wow.
I was like, I would tell people about it. At first, I'd tell anybody who would listen.
Uh-huh.
It's all about love. We're all supposed to be here for love. We're all supposed to be giving and receiving compassion. And I was in a doctorate program and working full time. I dropped out of school. I just didn't want to spend my nose in a bunch of books writing papers.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to do this corporate job that I had anymore. I wanted to hug people. And so, can you imagine a human resources executive? Oh, hi, how are you? How's your mom? Give me a hug. No, no, no. I could not be in that world anymore. And so I started then having to learn how to turn the gifts down because they were amped up. I could see
Uh,
spirits everywhere. I couldn't sleep.
wow.
I couldn't eat. I couldn't finish my own thought without other people's thoughts coming in. So now
Mm-hmm.
here I am going back to the same teachers trying to learn how to manage this gift. And so, and seeing the beauty of their teaching me and how they helped me, and knowing that, okay, this is really what I'm supposed to be doing, it made me want to be a teacher and a psychic medium professionally myself.
Okay. So what was, I guess, the years or months or however the transition from doing your corporate to now incorporating actually helping people and taking it to a step further? Because I did see some of your videos and you talked about how you first started with doing with family and friends. So when you had this awakening, did you just start with family and friends and allowed it to grow from there, or?
I did, and I had already been doing a little bit of that, but I was very fortunate that I had people who really believed in me.
Uh-huh.
And so it was a rough first year after my near death experience because I am making this great money. I kind of knew I had my life
Hmm.
planned out. I was very materialistic. I liked the nice car. I liked
Hmm.
all the trappings of having a good income. Of course, we were both working. My husband and I were working so hard. Neither one of us were really enjoying the money that we were making. None of that stuff mattered anymore.
No.
I felt like I couldn't even focus on my job. I figured I was going to get fired eventually. So I started making a plan. And the plan that we made, and my husband did this with me, is that we would sell everything. We sold a big house in Florida. We sold his business that he had, an interesting business,
Hmm.
liquor and wine shops. And at one point, I became a certified specialist of wine. So when I say I like wine and spirits, I really mean it. But I mean, this stuff takes time to do. And so while this is going on, then I'm taking my lessons and doing my learning on, how do you actually do this work for other people? Because we all have intuition. We all have
Hmm.
the ability to get messages for ourselves, but to
Okay.
do it for other people and to get spirit messages for other people and to do it in a way that is helpful and hopeful and healing, it takes a lot of work.
Mm. Wow. So when you came to your husband with this, was he supportive? I mean, or was it like, did he question it, or like what happened? Like, what happened to my wife? You know.
Exactly. Exactly. He was shocked. I think shock is the best word because we'd had a lot of experiences. We've been married 27 years this year, and he has had,
Congratulations.
thank you very much. He's seen a lot of things happen in our house, like objects would move, or we had a little dog that we had to euthanize, and we really love our dogs, and we have seen full-bodied apparitions of this dog in our house, and he'd seen it too. So he knew that I was sort of like a spirit amplifier.
Mhm.
But he's an engineer. I'm going to call my husband an open-minded skeptic, meaning he's
Yeah.
like, show me the evidence, and I'm an evidential medium. I give evidence that the loved one is the one communicating. But he was, I think he was shocked. I also was scared
Mhm.
myself because I spent all this money on this education and all of this work and all these long hours and these 6-day weeks, and you're building this career. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm going to go do something that doesn't have a guaranteed paycheck.
Mhm.
It doesn't have a compensation package with health insurance and all that sort of thing. And I felt really, really vulnerable. But in that vulnerability, I used that fear to give myself an edge. Like,
Mm.
I turned that fear into excitement,
Wow. Okay.
exhilaration, looking forward to the future. The fear is not a bad thing. People would say, I want to release all fear. I want to release all worry. Guess what? You can't do that. You have to recognize that it's there, it's part of you, hold it in a safe place,
Mhm.
and use it to energize yourself. And
Yes.
so it took a couple of years for me to really find my way and my identity and what I do want to
Mhm.
do and what I don't want to do. But that's the same way for everybody, especially with late bloomers. There are going to be people around you that don't understand what you're doing. All you can do is tell them, I'm being true to myself, stand by me, I won't disappoint you. And those that do won't be disappointed, and those that don't stand by you are not meant to be part of the rest of your journey.
Mm. So, what are some of those obstacles, like as far as that got you to the point where now you have success? Can you give us an example of maybe one obstacle or some obstacles that you had to face when you've decided this is the direction that you're truly going to go, and you're going to, now take it to the level of now making it a business, a true business where you're going to be making profit. Were there any obstacles that you have to face to get to the point of now having the success you have now?
There's always competition in anything that you want to do, going out on your own, and there will be people to tell you all about your competition. So and so is doing the same thing, and here's what they're doing. And oh gosh, there's so many of those. I had a friend that wanted to be a massage therapist, and all of her family was telling her, there's a million massage therapists. There's a massage therapist on every corner.
Mhm.
You're never going to make it there. Why do you want to do something like that? And she's a fantastic healer. It was the same thing for me. People are going to think you're crazy. You're going to be attacked. Family is going to be after you to change your ways. And I do have some fundamentalist religious family members that tell me I'm going to burn in hell. I think that's a
Mm.
pretty big
Wow.
obstacle to have loved ones that
Yes.
think that you're communicating with demons, or this is not what the Bible wants you to do.
Mhm.
Well, listen, folks, if we want to get biblical, and I don't want to get into anybody's religion because I don't mess
Mhm.
with anybody's religious beliefs, but there's a lot of things in the Bible that really don't make sense. Like the Bible tells you that slavery is okay. Come on,
Mhm.
people. I think God expects you to use your own brain. So
Yes.
I'd say the biggest obstacle would be being worried about what other people think. Now,
Mhm.
that's a universal fear,
Yes,
I
that
think,
is
is right.
definitely. Oh
What will
yes.
people think of me?
Mhm.
And I just had to set that aside. I want to align my personality, who I am in this physical body, with my soul,
Mhm.
who I am as a spiritual being. And I know that I work with the light. I protect and ground myself. I've been able to see the results of the work that I do, where people are living a life with more of a heart space of calm
Mhm.
and peace. And even those fundamentalist family members are saying, "Oh, I listened to your interview the other day. That's really interesting. That lady that called, she seemed to really get a lot out of it." And I'm like,
Yeah, they
"Wow."
start to see the benefit in it, you
Right,
know.
exactly.
Because sometimes it's like it's just their fears of the unknown. You just don't know what it really is. And by them being able to listen to you, to your show, they get to see like, oh, it's not what I thought it was, or it's not what you may hear on TV about it and stuff, that they get to really see, that positivity and that light that shines based on what you're saying. So that's great.
You
That's
won't be your real self until you start just letting go of
mhm.
other people's expectations of you.
Yeah, yeah. So, how long did it take for you to be comfortable to say, I am a psychic medium, you know, was that difficult to tell people like, oh, what do you do? Well, I'm a psychic medium and I help people, talk to their.
I still don't announce it
Oh.
to teachers because if I say I'm a psychic medium, the very first thing I hear back is, who do you see around me?
Oh.
I'm not working 24/7.
That's right. That's
I
right.
prize my downtime. Self-care is very important, but
So you're not like the
really,
psychic Rhode Island lady who
no.
she's like in the store and she can't help herself and she's just like biting her lips because she just has to say something to the person.
Well, that works for her, but for me, I'm either on or I'm off. But I will say this: I am not ashamed of who I am. We all carry some kind of shame in our
Mhm.
lives. From there's something either in our childhood, in our past, or something we feel that we have done or haven't done that was wrong for us. I'm not ashamed of who I am. I'm not ashamed of the work that I do. I'm proud of it. But by the same token, I feel like I'm not here to prove anything to anybody. I'm here to work with the people who are like my husband and like a
Mhm.
lot of people that you and I know that are
Yes.
open-minded skeptics, that they know that there must be more than just this,
Yes,
and they want to find
definitely.
out more. So I help them either with readings around their life issues, making contact with loved ones who are in the light because they want people to know, they want their loved
Mhm.
ones to know, I'm doing great, I'm right here, I'm still part of your life. And then helping people, coaching them in developing their intuition and living an intuitive life so that they can make their best decisions and their best choices.
That's great. So, what are some positives, what are the pros or the cons to your line of work? What's our first the benefits and then if there are any cons to it or what are they?
Well, the upside of being a psychic medium, spiritual medium, evidential medium is that it's a life of service.
Mhm.
I don't think anybody really chooses to be a medium.
Mm.
It is a calling
Definitely.
because it's a life of service. You really have to want to be involved in some of the most intimate moments of people's lives.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, when I do a reading, I forget it immediately afterwards. It's a blessing because
Wow.
I'm bringing through all these details. You might have grandparents coming through talking about when you were 5 years old and the gift they gave you for your birthday and all kinds of details. Or I might see someone's passing and who was there with them. Um, Frankly, I'm just a receiver like a satellite dish picking up a signal and giving it. It's
Okay.
none of my business, right? So I can let go of the details, most of them, but on the sort of like the drawback side
Uh-huh.
here, when there's a child involved, and I do a lot of readings for bereaved parents,
Mhm.
it's very hard to let
Mm.
go. I'm a pro. I will not show the emotion mostly during the reading itself. My voice might crack or something, but there are times where I'm just exhausted because there's so much emotion, and those are the
Mm.
ones that really tug at your heart, you know.
Okay.
So I think the energy demands are the con. The unpredictability is also like a one of the drawbacks of the work because people think, oh, you're only seeing a couple clients. Geez, that's a part-time job. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of energy to meet with folks, but by working full-time doing what I do, I'm able to help a lot more people than if I have to work another job that
Yes.
be like my day job and only do this on Saturdays or whatever. So for me, it works really well to just dive full on into it. And I'm a teacher soul. So even
Yes.
if I'm just doing a reading with someone and not, doing a class or a seminar or anything, I'm trying to teach them something about spirit. I'm trying to teach them that they're connected, that we're all one. I want that reading to keep giving to them. So the plus sides would be I feel personally fulfilled because this is my life's purpose. I get to be of service, and I just have to manage my own self care. There's this saying, what do they say on the plane? In case the loss of cabin pressure, put your own oxygen mask on first before helping somebody else. That is a difficult thing for me to remember. I can't get tired. I can't get run down. I have to take care of me. But I don't think you can just wake up one day and say, I'm going to be a psychic medium. I'm going to do readings. There's like everyone I've talked to that does this, there's sort of like an evolutionary process.
That's true. That's true. My mom is a medium. She doesn't do it for our business or anything like that. But hers, it was like stages of it. Like, just like you said, like when she was little, she had these experiences, but kind of ignored it. And then a traumatic thing happened that opened it up. But even that, like, she does it with family and friends, but she's like, I guess now because it's fairly new, it's like, it's overwhelming for her because she's like, wait a minute, all these, these spirits are in my home, and she's doing prayers to get them out, or she doesn't want to talk to them and stuff, and it's like she's not.
That's one of the things I teach people is you're grounding and protection, and you're setting boundaries.
Yeah, that's what she's trying to learn right now, because it's like so many and stuff, and I can't see a thing, so I'm just like, okay, so she just tells me, but yeah, it's amazing. So I wanted to ask a question. When you're working with clients, have you ever had a situation where you've had like a negative spirit come in, or something that was kind of like, I know, like something like, I guess like of a darker nature? Has that ever happened to you before?
I have sensed them around before, but I do my prep work.
Okay.
That consists of, I'm clearing the space that I'm working in, and I'm calling in archangels for protection.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving the glory to the Creator, because without the Creator, none of this is possible.
That's true.
And then I have a spiritual team that works with me and protects me. A guardian angel protects me, and then I have a main guide that's always with me, who heads up my communications team. So even though I may sense something that's dark, I don't want that around here, it never gets into the reading. Never has.
Okay.
Never has, ever.
That's great.
And I don't make a habit of going out and visiting haunted houses and like inviting stuff to follow me home,
Halloween's coming.
But it's not something I really want to do.
I said Halloween's coming, so none of those haunted houses and none of those things when Halloween comes.
Girl, I don't even work on Halloween. I don't want any of that pagan energy up in here.
That's right. That's right. So you know how you talked about about doing this full time and having to do it on the weekend, but when you first started, like you were in the corporate world, did you do it part time and then transition to full time?
I did.
Okay.
I did. And I always think that that's a good idea if you're making a big career switch, if you can like tippy-toe in a little bit at a time until you have a comfort level.
Okay.
And then when you're ready, and you'll know when you're ready to really make the switch, then just go for it. And don't cut any ties or burn any bridges, but have a transition plan for what you're leaving behind, and don't look back. Take that fear and leverage it as passion and energy.
Okay, great. So do you think that transitioning to becoming a psychic medium, that you've had to make any sacrifices to follow this new path, your life purpose?
I think I've sacrificed a sense of normalcy that used to be so important to me. You meet neighbors at a neighborhood barbecue, or you're at somebody's party or something, and people ask, what do you do? And I used to really feel a sense of identity, and to be able to say, where I worked and what I did and all this great stuff that I was doing. And now I will tell them I'm a consultant. But it feels good now, and I used to think I would feel lesser than if I couldn't brag about what I did.
Yeah.
Now
all those
I think
titles.
What comes through is the serenity that I have, because people say, I just feel good around you. I don't know why. We feel good around people who feel good about themselves. So it's a different lifestyle. That's for sure.
I just have to say this because you and another psychic medium that I talked to, for some reason, I don't know if it's something being a psychic medium or what it is, but every time I get around someone that is, it doesn't have to be in person, but for some reason my ears start to ring, and I'm like, this happened before when I was talking to another psychic medium. My ears started to ring and feel funny, and I was telling her, I was like, I don't know, when I started talking to you, this is what happened, and it just happened. It's happening again. It happened with another one. I'm like, why is this? So it's something that's natural that happens when people are talking to people who are psychics and
Yes,
mediums.
yes, it can. Even reading a book about psychic development might sort of open you up a little bit. So,
Okay.
okay, Naomi, your chakras are aligning, you're starting to open up, and your own sensitivities to the energy around you, it's showing up. And for you, it's showing up as some kind of like light ringing in your ears. I've had people say, I feel like electrical or something on my skin, or it shows up for different people in different ways, but we are all energetic beings. Everything's
Mhm.
comprised of energy. Every living plant, animal, person has an electromagnetic energy field around it, or the aura. I just
Yes.
happen to be one of those people that was born being able to see, sense, and
Mhm.
interpret the auras. And you have some abilities yourself there.
Yes, I don't. So that's because I was like, I was telling to my ears are just, it's happening, and it just happened again. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing. It's just,
Well, you said your mom has it, and it
yeah,
does
she
run
has
in
it.
families.
Uh-huh. She does
So,
have it.
yeah.
Yeah. That's it. We'll see what comes of it. I don't know. I mean, I do energy work, which I love. It's like it's my medicine, or my thing that I go to, that makes me, it just brings a sense of peace in me. And so that's something that I know that,
Wonderful.
yeah, I love. I do Reiki as well, and it definitely connects. But I just have to say that because it was just weird. It happened again. I was like, wow, this happened before. This is weird to me. So
You're
I just
tuning
had to say
in.
it. So, I know that you mentioned this is not something that, I think I truly believe it's a gift, that this is not something that we all have our gifts. Specifically for you or people like you, that's a gift that you're born with. I don't think it's something that you can just learn how to do. Doesn't mean that we can't learn how to have, like you said, tune into our own intuition, but we all have different gifts. This is your gift. But if there was someone that was tuning in that listen to your experience as a child, listen to, your story, and said, you know what, I feel her. I'm like connected. I totally understand exactly where she's coming from. And they were kind of thinking about, maybe taking this to another level of not just doing their family or friends, but now taking it to the next step. What kind of advice could you give someone to get started for those who have that particular gift?
Well, the first thing to do is to start journaling. A very brief diary is fine. You don't have to write down everything that happened that
Mhm.
day. Like nobody cares about it. These people tweeting they had a tuna fish sandwich. It just kills me. But don't make it a chore. Just keep a journal of things that happen on a day-to-day basis, signs, symbols, emotions that seem to come from nowhere, synchronicities, those little freaky deaky coincidences that seem
Mhm.
to point the way in life, dreams that seem to have meaning for you, or dream visits where you feel like you're with a deceased loved one or a guide or an angel, and it's very, very clear and very loving and positive. Start keeping a journal, because you'll be able to look back and say, this is how I'm receiving information. Oh, that's what this means. The next thing
Okay.
you want to do is identify great teachers and great seminar groups or development
Mhm.
groups that you can get with. You know that they're good if you go there and you feel comfortable and peaceful and like you're working in the light.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for working in a group, and
Mhm.
there's something to be said for working one on one with a teacher, because there are different practice exercises that you can do
Mhm.
in each of those types of settings. Also, start doing little things to practice, and this is really for everybody. This
Okay.
will help you develop your intuition as well. When just some quick stuff to work that psychic muscle for some psychic strength building, because the psychic ability, not the mediumship or getting messages from other people's loved ones for them, but the psychic ability, meaning your intuition, is built into the body.
Okay.
It's part of the energy centers of the body. Okay, so it's just like you go out and you buy a brand new car and you have a fabulous GPS and a great satellite radio system, but you never learn how to use them. You're wasting those tools, those resources. For tuning into your own intuition, here are some things that you can do to exercise those muscles, to build them up. Okay, when you're at the grocery store and they're ringing up the groceries, see if you can intuit the numbers before the clerk tells you the title. You might hear the number, it might simply pass through your mind like a very clear, spontaneous thought, or you might actually see the number flash in front of you, and then keep track of how many times that you're getting it right. Put that in your journal. Another thing, in a parking lot, you could ask your guides, will you guides please help me find a parking lot close to the entrance, unless there's someone else that needs it more than I do, and see how often that works for you. It's just like even little changes that you make on a day-to-day basis help you. You know, when doctors tell you to get more exercise and you start taking the stairs instead of the elevator, same principle applies here.
Okay.
When you first meet someone and you're being introduced and you shake their hand, see if you can get like the essence of their personality from that handshake, or a general sense. A word might come to you like strong or grounded or heart-centered, and then just see how that matches up with what you learn about that person. Now, for mediumship, the studying is very, very important in developing your own notes, your dictionary of symbols that you receive, because we receive a lot of symbols. Like, for example, if I see a red cross in someone's aura, I know that they're either a primary caregiver or a medical professional. And mediums, all your life, you're going to be developing symbols, whether you know it or not, but you need to start writing those down so that you can keep track of how messages are being given to you. Now, another tip for everyone to tap into your own intuition is when you have a decision that you have to make, and we all make tons of little decisions every day, and every once in a while some big ones. Take that decision as a yes or no. Hold it in the palm of your hands. So let's say I have a decision to make. I want to buy a new house. Okay, I'm buying a new house, and my intention is that buying a new house is now sitting in the palm of my hands. And now take a nice cleansing breath. Hold the palms of your hands to your heart. How do you feel? If you got that exciting flutter, like, oh, I can't wait, I'm so happy, great, that's a positive. Your higher self is telling you, go for it.
Okay.
If you get this kind of thud or closed off feeling, your higher self is telling you, caution, check this out a little further. It's just practice, 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 practice.
Wow, some good ones. Yeah, I think that's a good way to get started, like you said, because your intuition, that's pretty much your guide to, like you said, the decisions that you're making in your life, and starting with something small. So eventually, as those bigger decisions come, it's like, you're like your muscle working out. You're working out that muscle to strengthen it, to make it stronger and stuff. Thank you so much. Those are good ones, simple for all of us to be able to do. So last question is, we've learned so much. I mean, good examples you were giving us, things that we can actually use. How could we be a service to you, especially me? How can I be a small service to you and help you, grow in your business, or whatever it is that, I could do to help you? I'm thankful for all that you have done to help us, the viewers, and giving us some good information on this summit.
Well, thank you for having me as part of the summit. I love what you're doing. I think it's going to be invaluable to many, many people. Since we're all connected and we're all one, what I'd like to ask everyone to do is to realize in your heart that there is a divine plan at work, that everything will be all right, that no matter what, you are blessed, and know that your life's purpose is to bring a little bit of heaven to earth while you're here. And how you do that is to give and receive as much love and compassion as humanly possible to people, to animals, and to also identify your unique gifts and use them to be of service to others, because every time we help someone just a little bit, we get healing back. That's what I'd like to ask you to do.
Wow. That's great. I mean, I was really moved by that. That is something definitely that I totally agree with. I mean, we need more love and compassion in this world, and if
we need compassion for ourselves.
Yes, that's
too.
true.
I meet so many people who have these. They're very well known in celebrity, and they seem to have everything. And they're like, "What's missing in my life? What's missing in my life?" They're not stopping, slowing down, and loving themselves, and really knowing that they're being the best person that they can be. It's only when you totally accept yourself and all the parts of you, even the parts that you don't like, that's when your heart is open and that your gifts manifest. Because people will say, I feel like I've got to quit my job and go do something else, or I'll never find out who I am. The Creator uses us in place right where we are, here and now. You just have to open your eyes and be in the present moment, love yourself, and be willing to give and receive.
Wow. Amen to that.
Preaching to the choir, am I?
Amen to that. Yes. I mean, I love to be around people and, talk to people who really truly want to spread that, because it's so much needed now. It's like if we're watching television, looking at the news, looking at things, it makes it seem like the world is so bad and so negative, but it's not. And the more that we're able to get this message out there, just what you said at the end alone, just like if we're able to get that message, I mean, the world could just change overnight, as far as people knowing that, like you're talking about, first loving yourself, first giving, just nurturing yourself, because when you do that, it's like now you get to spread it to everyone around you, and it just can just be like a domino effect. Everyone gets affected by it. So yes, I totally, that's why I say amen to that. We're going to end right there, because that's it right there. I mean, I just want to make sure everyone knows that please check out Susanne's free gift. Learn more about Susanne, what she has to offer. She's an amazing woman with just such an amazing heart. And when you go to her website, you'll feel it by just the words that she has on there, just by the little videos that she has on there. You can just feel that beautiful energy come across in those words, in those videos. So please go ahead and check out her website, get to know a little bit more about her, and start by going to the guide for healing energy. I think that's a good place to start. Again, if you have any comments, if you want to post something, go to my fan page, facebook.com/Naomi the educator. Put your comments about what did this video do for you, what did you learn, any questions you have, so we can get to know you more and get to know how we can be of service to you. Until next time, peace and blessings. This is your host, Naomi Horne.